Hey everybody. All right, I am jumping into day 11 of the 100 days of Python on Replit. So I am live streaming and video recording myself. Go through this 100 days to learn the basics of Python and do it publicly. So before we do that, though, I started looking, and today is 5,000. 525,600 minutes. And when I saw that, I realized that it kind of sounded familiar. So I Googled it, and obviously a bunch of stuff comes up. And so I want to actually give you guys the same punishment that I just received. And that is this is a song, and the song gets stuck in your head if you've ever heard it before. You will be saying this amount of minutes for the rest of the day. All right, so that's that. That's enough punishment. It's been stuck in my head since then. But let's jump in here. So the one thing that I did want to go over too is I've been doing this every day that we do this. On day one, you can see that 196,000 people have started this 100-day journey, like they call it, which is a lot. That's almost 200,000 people. But you start to see it dwindle down really quick. Like, for example, by day two, we're only at 98,000, day 374, and so on. Well, now that we are on day 11, it gets all the way down to 32,000, which is, or I'm sorry, here's day 11. It's actually less, 29,000. So less than 30,000 people have just completely quit by day 11, which is it's kind of shocking. But anyway, with that being said, let's just jump in here. Okay, so let's move our video window up here. Make it bigger.
Welcome to day 11, where you're going to calculate how many seconds are in a year simply by the power of breaking a program down into its parts and coding it into Python. We could Google this, absolutely true, but we could also try and work it out. Your challenge is to work out how many seconds there are in a year. So to get you thinking along the right lines, it's worth remembering that there are 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day, and a slightly different amount of days depending upon which month, but usually about 31. There are also 12 months in a full year. Using that extrapolation, you can multiply together a bunch of numbers to work out, roughly speaking, how many seconds are in a full year. But it ain't as easy as that, because the year could be a leap year. And if it's a leap year, it's going to have an extra day. So you will need to use an input and an if statement to add that extra day if it is a leap year. The correct answer usually is this to help you out and see if you get into the right place. But you're going to be needing to think about the order of operations, where best to place brackets to get the math to work the way you want it to. And most importantly, I want the computer doing all the hard work for you and you doing the thinking beforehand. When you've got something, share it in our community with the hashtag Replit100days of code, publish it to your social media and get some feedback. See if you can find.
All right, so let's see. We start off here with how many seconds are in a year, which cheat code with that song, it tells you there's that many minutes in a year. So it says use the power of breaking a program down into parts. We could Google this, but why not make a program instead? Okay, so we've got the conversion. You can multiply a bunch of numbers. And then it says use an input statement. So it's reminding us about the ints or floats. for your input. We probably won't use a float because we don't really need any decimal points. Share your code, and then we should get our solution. Okay, so paste it in and break it down. First, let's try to run it and see. Actually, before we run it, let's just go through it. Okay, so days this year, which it uses an int like we thought it shouldn't use a float, right? Because there's no decimal point. Okay, so we get the input, how many days are in this year. So we've got days in a year is 365, days in a leap year, 366. There's 24 hours in a day. We've got those conversions here, I believe, right? Yep, okay. So hours in a day is 24, minutes in an hour is 60, and then seconds in a minute is 60. So then our result equals days in a year multiplied by the hours in a day. So days in a year is 365 times the 24 hours in a day, minutes in an hour, and seconds in a minute. Leap year result would be the days in a leap year times hours in the day, minutes in an hour, and seconds. So you can see here the answer for the leap year is 366. So it's just basically going off of 365 or 366. Then we've got our if the days equal 366, then it should tell you print the number of seconds in a leap year. Otherwise, with the else statement, print the number of seconds that in a year are. Okay, so let's give this a try. How many days are in this year? 365. That math is not right. Number of seconds. Yeah, that actually is right. Those are seconds in the year. Number of seconds in a year are 3. We should add some decimal points in there, or some break parts. Why is that? Why doesn't that look right though? Let it run. What if I say 366? Three, okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay, it is right. For some reason, how many days are in this year? So for some reason, I was thinking minutes because of that song. So I was actually wrong with this number. So if that song is stuck in your head, I apologize. It still had nothing to do with this code because they have us breaking down seconds and not minutes in a year. Okay, but so that is obviously we went ahead and we got the answer that they wanted us to break down, so that I could just do it together online. But it's fairly simple. We can see here that we just have the computer doing the math for us, and then splitting apart the leap year and a regular year. So let's hit play and watch the last part of this video.
An easier or nicer way to do it with a bit of Googling.
Okay, so we already did it, and we didn't need to Google because
Tomorrow,
we just used
the ultimate
that.
project. You're going to debug a huge chunk of my code.
Cool. So normally they have a debug in here, but they don't today. So it just goes straight from the no peeking solution to the end of it. Okay. So it was a pretty easy one today. The next one, it says that we'll be debugging some code. So it's probably something like this because there was no debugging in this one. And normally these are about 20 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes is what they say. This is actually probably one of the fastest ones. Otherwise, they have been about 20 to 25 minutes. The first couple took me a little bit longer just because I'm slow, and I didn't realize, I didn't know what I was doing. So, all right, we will mark this as complete, and I'll leave the link to this below the stream on here, on the post. But yeah, that's it. So I appreciate anybody that watched this. Obviously, if you're an expert, this is probably really dumb, but it's fun, and it's only day 11. So I'm excited to be learning, and yeah, see you for day 12. Thanks.